We haven't talked about leopard geckos in a while, so today I'm going to be giving you 5 quick tips for leopard gecko care. So firstly, heat pads are essential. Now this might seem obvious to some, but you'd be kind of surprised how often people ask me if they need heat pads for their leopard geckos, because some people only use heat lamps. So heat lamps aren't actually good for leopard geckos because they're nocturnal. That light from the heat lamp is going to be way too bright for them, and they require belly heat, and the most easy way to get them belly heat is through a heat pad that you'll stick onto the bottom of the enclosure. You really don't even need a heat lamp as long as you have proper sized heat pad for the tank that it's in. Secondly, you're going to want 2 to 3 hides in the enclosure. The first one you want is a dry hide on the hot side of your tank, preferably over your heat pad. This is where your gecko can go and stay warm and at the same time feel nice and safe and secure. Secondly, you're going to want to put a dry hide on the cool side of your tank. So if your gecko gets too hot under that hide on the hot side, it can go over and cool down into the other hide without being exposed to the rest of the tank, so it'll still feel safe and secure and it'll still stay nice and dry. The third one you're going to want is a humid hide. This is probably going to be on your cool side, and this is where they're going to go when they're going through shed. The way I do it, I have 2 actual hides in mine, one on the hot side and then one humid one on the cool side. The third one I have is basically a dry area under some rocks that he can go if he needs to stay cool but still stay safe. These hides are important because animals can easily get stressed when they don't feel safe, and stress in reptiles can often be fatal. So the third thing is you do not want to pick your gecko up by the tail. So you've got this nice big tail right here. It's almost like a little handle. You can just pick them up with it. You actually want to avoid this because their tails can detach like other geckos and other lizards. This is in case a predator is coming at them and they manage to grab the tail while the gecko is running away. They can drop this tail and they'll be okay, but they'll lose their tail. It grows back on some animals like leopard geckos, but the problem is you can see how big and fat this is. This is where all of the animal's fat is. So without this tail, they can potentially become extremely underweight because they're losing their nutrients. It's kind of like a little, I guess, backpack that they carry around with them with all their food in it. And without it, they're going to have some trouble. And you can fix this, you can have it grow back correctly, but it's a huge pain and can be dangerous. So the easiest way to avoid it is by picking your gecko up around its belly and not really touching its tail at all. Next, maybe you want to get more than one gecko and put them in the same enclosure. You can do this, however, you do not want to put 2 males together. This is my male gecko. If I were to get another male and put it in here with them, chances are they're going to fight to the death. They are very territorial over their space, and you're going to want them to be in separate enclosures. You can put a male and female together, but you might end up with some eggs, and I'm not sure if you're going to want that. And you can usually put 2 females together. They're probably going to be all right in the same enclosure, but you need to keep a really close eye on them. You also want, if you're going to be housing 2 females together, to be just about the same size and age, so that one doesn't feel dominant or threatened by the other. But if you are watching the females and you feel like they're not getting along very well, you probably want to separate them. Something else important to know is they each need their own hides in the areas. They should never have to share any hides. So you're going to need 2 hides on the hot side and then possibly 4 on the cool side, 2 of which being humid and 2 of which being dry. So I just think it's best to house 1 gecko per tank to be safe. Now the 5th, speaking of lamps again, you do not want to use any kind of nighttime lamp. I have a video on lighting with leopard geckos, and you do want lighting during the day. However, you never want to use them at night. Because they're nocturnal, they're going to come out at that time. But even if you say that you're going to get like one of the red bulbs that reptiles can't see, leopard geckos can actually see that red light, and it's really going to bother them. It's like they're just walking out into the sun in the middle of nighttime, which is the time that they should be up. So it's going to be really hard for them, and they're not going to be happy if they have a night light on. And then when it's daytime again, you can have some sort of light come on for about 12 hours a day that isn't too bright, so that it knows when it's time for it to go to sleep. So those were just 5 quick tips that you can use to improve the care of your leopard gecko. Of course, there are plenty other things you need to know about the animals, and this is just some things that maybe you don't see in every care sheet, or you might just happen to pass by. So maybe this helped you out a bit, but that's it for this video. I'm Alex, and thanks for watching.